The Spanish-American War made a superstar out of Theodore Roosevelt, who led his battalion, known as the Rough Riders, to victory in the Battle of San Juan Hill, probably the most decisive battle of the Spanish-American War, which all told was a brief war with relatively few casualties. Only 350 U.S. American troops died in combat, although 3,000 died from disease. Yet it had massive implications. Thanks to the Spanish-American War, the United States now rules an empire. And the people back at home, many of the people back at home are celebrating this. Look at us, 10,000 miles, tip to tip. An empire that Sargon himself would be proud of. We control the Philippines. We control Puerto Rico. We control Guam. Not everybody, though, is happy about this move. Although before I point that out, I also want to say you should... there's a really good, remember we call these things, there's a really good thing in section 22.2 of the OpenStax textbook, which talks about the essential role played by African American soldiers in the Spanish-American War. African American soldiers who were given the nickname the Smoked Yankees, so you could read about the Smoked Yankees here in the OpenStax textbook, section 22.2. Fact of the matter is, though, not everybody's happy about this. There's in-house opposition, and some of these are names that you're going to recognize. Jane Addams of the settlement movement, Hull House fame. Former President Grover Cleveland, the guy who just wouldn't stop being president. I'll be president again and again and again and again. Andrew Carnegie, Mark Twain, Samuel Gompers, the great labor leader. They all think that this is wrong-headed. We should not be building an empire. This is not what the United States is about. And so they formed an anti-imperialist league to oppose this expansionism. Remember the running theme. Life is messy, people are complicated, so there are a variety of different motivations that lead people to oppose American empire. One of them will probably resonate. This is probably what's behind the reason we don't do Putin invades Ukraine or Hussein invades Kuwait today, is that many felt that empire building went against the principles of democracy and freedom upon which the country was founded, and I think that is behind the worldwide opposition to wars of conquest today. But others are more worried about competition from foreign workers. You know, if Puerto Rico and Philippines and someday who knows what else, if this becomes American territory, well then these people are going to want American jobs, and that's always pouring fuel on the fire of xenophobia and anti-foreign sentiment. And then well, this sucks. Some held the xenophobic view that the assimilation of other races would hurt the country. So, no, there's been no magical eradication of racism. Was not one of the many influential impacts of the Spanish-American War. Of course, the people entitled to an opinion on American empire are not just those living here, but what about those living here? What about those living here? The Filipinos are not at all happy to have to become part of an American empire, and so the Filipinos will fight a war of independence against the United States of America. The next video will tell a bit about the Filipino War of Independence. It's not going to be an overnight success for the Philippines. In fact, it's going to be an absolute travesty. Within 4 years of fighting, 250,000 Filipino civilians will be dead. At that point, President McKinley perks up. He says, okay, not we're going to give up the Philippines, but we need to shift gears. This is really a bad visual that American troops are actively waging war against an occupied people, the citizenry of an occupied country, and so he shifts gears. But it won't be until 1946 that the Philippines becomes an independent nation. And then after the video on the Philippine War for Independence, there will be 2 short videos looking at the interesting place Puerto Rico holds in the United States of America as a territory, American territory, where the Puerto Rican people are United States citizens, not at first, but they're granted citizenship in 1917, and yet they're not a state. And so, as individuals, every Puerto Rican is a U.S. American with equal rights as any other American citizen. If you're born in Puerto Rico, you're as American. You couldn't be more American if you were George Washington's son. Is not more American than any Puerto Rican as an individual. But as an entity, the territory of Puerto Rico's role and legal rights are very different from those of the 50 United States. So we'll have 2 short videos on the role and the status of Puerto Rico. So please watch the 3 videos that follow in the playlist.